from the beginning, because I want to refresh the people at Third Phase Moon if they missed it. And then we got some questions for you. Could you briefly explain on how you realize that we're not alone?
Okay, we're not alone, definitely. I've been trying to tell people my story. Of course, it's difficult to believe, and seeing with your own two eyes is believing, but I've told this story a billion times in the last 24 years. I'm 49 years old right now. This happened 24 years ago. I was 23 years old. And the climate is really warm in Arizona, so I decided to live outside and take showers and stuff at a health club. One night after about a year of camping out, I was having a nice time. I had to work late at night. I was a dishwasher. I worked at the Village of Oak Creek, the Oak Creek Owl in Sedona, Arizona. So I had to wash dishes really late at night. So I'd go to my tent probably about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, depending on what I was doing. This was about 3 o'clock. I came to my tent, and then went inside my tent and was just sitting there trying to go to sleep, took my shoes off, and I heard this swirling wind in the trees blowing. And I was like, wow, that's cool. It sounded a little weird for wind. Then it got louder and louder. Then it sounded like it had maybe blown a branch out of the top of the tree, and it hit the dirt on the ground. And I thought, oh, well, a branch fell next to my tent. And then it was silent all of a sudden. So I'm sitting there, just kind of relaxing, waiting to go to sleep. And then I hear somebody take 4 footsteps in the dirt. Crunch, crunch, crunch. And I'm like, who the hell is it? It's like 4 feet away from my tent. And my heart started beating a little bit there. And I'm like, who is that? And so I'm sitting here thinking, you better say something to this guy, whoever this guy is. And I tried to say something to him like, what do you want? Or who are you? And I couldn't speak. I couldn't talk. So I kind of got scared that I couldn't open my mouth and say anything. So I tried to breathe. My heart started beating. My face was getting hot. Then I said, I finally got enough energy to say, I hope you know that I know you're there, and I also hope you know I am fully protected, because I didn't know who it was. So I'm sitting there in my tent, and I'm wondering what's going on. I heard a swallow and a stomach growl. And I'm like, oh, my God, the guy's still there. And he was just standing there for about 5 minutes, quiet. Then all of a sudden I see in my nylon zipper on my tent was so used that it didn't work anymore. So I just pushed the little dome. I had a 4-man dome tent with a queen-size mattress in it and sheets and blankets and all that stuff. And the door was always wide open because the zipper was broken. So this person standing there to the left of me, but out of the vision of the door open. But where the door is open, I see like a little silver, like antenna looking thing. And I'm like, what is that guy doing? He's holding like a little silver thing there. And I'm like looking at this little silver thing, and then it goes away. And I'm like, what was that? And then I see it again. And I'm like, what the heck? This guy's got like a walkie-talkie or something with an antenna, or what is that? And I look at it, but it's not really an antenna. It's more of a long silver spike. And then it goes away again, like he's busy and he's not paying attention. And then he puts it back again. And then I see this little hand holding the thing. And so all of a sudden, I kind of like, I went over to the tent, to the right-hand side of the tent, kind of far, like thinking whatever this guy's doing. And I saw this little hand. I was starting to freak out. And then right in my ear on the other side of the nylon, I hear somebody cupped their hands over their mouth, because you can tell the difference when you hear the voice. I hear this right in my ear, because I'm really close to the right-hand side of the tent. I just turn my face very slow, and I look at the nylon in my face, the orange tent, and I'm like, and then I heard it again, another similar sound, further away in the forest, in the bushes there. And then I started crying, because I'm like, I think I know what's going on. I can't believe it. Then it's kind of hard to remember, because I think they did something to me. I'm pretty sure they did something to me. And all of a sudden I felt so scared that I felt all numb, and I was ready to pass out. I'm trying to breathe slow. And then as my zipper was broken on the front door, I see this little guy come in, this alien, the little one, reaching in. And I'm just looking at it kind of casually like, oh, look, that's not real. And I was completely okay with it. But the thing that freaked me out was the sound of it sliding against the polyester of the tent. And my brain was saying, you can hear it, but if it's not real, how come you can hear it? And I was like, then I started getting really, really scared, and it was coming towards me real slowly, like, don't worry, don't worry. And I was like, I'm worried. And I was like, no. And I felt like I was crawling up inside myself as far as I could get to the back of the tent. And it was coming really slow towards me, reaching. It was coming towards my head. And I just said to myself, I literally said, okay, goodbye. And I passed out. The next thing I know, I'm standing barefoot with outside next to my tent, and I'm leaned way over, standing up. And I woke up, and I didn't think anything of it, forgot about that guy and everything. And I could feel my feet cold in the sand. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm going, well, la, 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 you know, I'm out here in the desert in Sedona, Arizona, and it's really nice, and I could feel the cold. And I'm like, you know, I feel really numb all over, like Novocaine. And so I see a couple of little sticks and pine needles and things, and I'm pushing my feet on them, and I'm like, God, I can't even feel that stuff. I feel really numb. And so because I was a dishwasher, I had to pick up mats and blast them with the hose and everything. Every single night I had to mop and everything, and I came to my tent every night about 2 or 3. My back kind of hurt from leaning over. So I went to stand up, and then something tells me, I think it's better that you just lean over. And I'm like, okay. So I leaned back over. And when I did that, I saw in the corner of my left eye something move. So I just kind of jerked my head and looked at it. And it was one of these short little aliens. The head was about as big as a beach ball. The eyes were black, a little bigger than a horse's eye or something like that. Of course, the almond shape. And when I turned to look at it, it kind of was moving or doing something, and it stopped. It froze, like, uh-oh, like, you don't see me. Instantly, when I saw him, he was about 2.5 feet tall, with a head about as big as a beach ball, maybe 1.5 feet wide. Kind of weird.
Troy, let me ask you this: how many fingers did this being have?
Well, it was either 2 and a thumb or 3 and a thumb.
No, that's you know, I think that's what people wanted to know, because that's I'm just wondering, that just went through the legit test as far as people wanting to, because they ask them how many fingers do they have, and apparently they have 3. So, you know, that's a good start. You know what we're going to do now, Troy, is we're going to get some questions in. What happens with this alien? That you're describing.
There's a little more. this was just a second. When I looked at this thing standing next to me, I actually went to throw up. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't take what I was seeing. So I just went to throw up, but I didn't throw up. I just passed out instead, and I leaned over. Now, I fell asleep. I went passed out. Now, then a few seconds later, and this is the scary thing. That was scary, but this is the scary part. So I woke up again, and I'm leaning over, and my back hurts. So I keep getting up, and I keep, going, oh, my back hurts. And it's me talking to myself. I'm like, I think I should probably lean back over. And I'm like, no. I leaned over, and I'm like, no, my back hurts, man. I'm not leaning over. And then I'm arguing with myself if I should lean over or not. I'm like, I'm not going to lean over. My back hurts, but I'll just stare over here at the trees and the rocks over here, and I won't look behind me. But I feel like something's behind me. So I said, I'm going to look behind me. And again, I started arguing with myself, and I said, no, I don't think you should look behind you. And I'm like, I'm going to look behind me. There's something behind me I need to know about. And I'm thinking, I'm talking to myself, and I'm saying, I don't think it's a good idea. And I'm like, I'm going to count to 3. 1. It's like, I think. 2. I'm going to look. 3. And my neck and everything was really stiff. And I look over my left shoulder, and I see this 12 or 13 foot, 11 foot tall leader alien thing. And when I looked at it, it had these super giant black bulbous eyes, and it had these little yellow dots in it, and they flared up yellow, and that really freaked me out. And so I'm trying to this is like hard to tell. So when these little yellow dots flared up, it looked like his eyes were like these big, deep black eyes that were freaky, and they flared up yellow. And right when it did that, I was looking at me and my tent through its eyes. I felt like I was Troy the tent. I felt like I was Troy the pine tree. And I was like, I can feel all my pine needles on me. And I felt every single rock. I felt every single leaf in a big, giant, round, about 300-foot circle. I could feel every single leaf, every single crack in every rock completely easily. And I could see my face, and I could see the tent, and I could see through this thing's eyes. And that's when I got all of its memories, and that's why I came up with these beings. I'm not trying to say there's no such thing as aliens, but these beings were tools. They are organic robots, and something behind the scenes was controlling them, and I call them disposable cloned avatars, meaning they're not necessarily important enough to keep around, but depending on, whatever they're doing, they clone. And then this was 24 years, and I have come up with a lot of memories and understandings of why they clone, or why there's so many different types of aliens people think. And you hear in the Bible, I'm not really religious at all, but you hear in the Bible about giants and stuff, and I'm thinking, well, what if these beings or aliens were giants? I mean, there's no way that humans would be able to handle that. So they create these cloned avatars, organic robots, to do their thing, like what they did with me.
That's
go ahead.
That's disposable cloned avatars. You can't make this stuff up. There's something that you experience.
Right.
They
use lizard DNA, and they use amphibian DNA because, like when you chop their tail off, it grows back. Well, when you travel in space, there's a lot of radiation. Radiation destroys cells, so that's why I'm calling them disposable clone avatars. I think whatever these aliens are, or whatever, they might be controlling these guys from other dimensions. They're messing with time, space. They travel super fast speeds, breakneck speeds. So they use these avatars to do whatever. But I don't think they necessarily need an organic robot unless they're doing something like what they did with me.
You know, that makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. If these guys are interstellar and they're traveling, you know, soft tissue is very fragile, and